Okay, good morning everyone. So today with Sylviane, we are going to talk about the necessity and the need to get interoperability on onboard multimedia and telematics services from an operator's perspective. Oops, okay. So a little bit more about us. So with Sylviane, we work at SNCF Voyager. We are in the rolling stock engineering department, and we are in the field of telematics and multimedia services. Personally, I am also members of the TC9 IEC TC9 W43, 46, and 48, and part of CEN. I am also the convener of the W48, which is the passenger alarm system. Okay.
Well, on my side, so I participate, sorry for my voice, because I just back from London where I gave also a conference, so sorry for that. So I'm also participating in W43 and 46, and I'm involved in all embedded networks and train-to-ground communications.
Okay, just to start, because we have been talking a lot about interoperability since yesterday. And even though interoperability has a clear definition, interoperability is also a kind of magic word, as we can have also different meaning or different expectations from it. So basically, yes, I'm pretty sure that you know this definition, that a train can run freely and safely on any line in the European Union. Meaning that also the train can has to run anywhere in Europe and can use also any kind of infrastructure. So this is the basics definition, and this is quite clear. Nevertheless, you know that we cope with also some issues to achieve an interoperability. For instance, you know that we have the train have to run on different kind of electrifications. We have also different kind of gauge with a tunnel, and also the different kind of signaling. So this is quite difficult to have interoperability. And you know also that from the European Union, we have the interoperability directives, and they do not ask directly to the standards, but we have the intermediate mandatory laws issued by the ERA, by the European Agency, as named as TSI, the Technical Specification for Interoperability. And the TSI relies on the standards, or the standards have to prove the conformity to the TSI, in other words. However, it's difficult to say also that standard do not always mean interoperability, because we need also to talk about the technical compatibility on it. This is something completely different, another expectations, but this is something that we have also to highlight. And just to give you some example, very basic example, and this is even more difficult when we step down at equipment level and also system level. So let's start with a very simple example with a door. So you know that for a door we have some standards which define the design or the functions and the environmental condition. But from an operator's perspective, in case we have to refurbish this door, as the interface, the mechanical interface is not clearly defined, we cannot exchange it very easily. I mean, this is it is becoming very costly also to exchange a door. So the interface is not correctly defined. And another example with a passenger information, for instance. As you know, passenger information use some screens, some displays on board. And due to the quick evolution of technology, sometimes we have to exchange it. And for instance, the outline of the screens or the displays are not correctly defined. We have also some issues with data exchange with the network. The protocol could be completely different. So this is going to be very difficult to have a compatibility with other systems. So we can see here that the standards, even though they are existing for such kind of equipment, they don't fulfill the need for compatibility. So now if we focus on the topic of today regarding the multimedia and telematic services, so here we are talking about the OMTS. OMTS stands for onboard multimedia and telematic services. This is all the features, all the functions which are related to the passenger comfort and safety, and also for the customer-oriented, for the operators-oriented. For instance, we will have the passenger information, the CCTV, the passenger counting as well. And you can see here we have a lot of stakeholders. And out of these stakeholders, we have two main contributors or operators, which are the operators, the public transport operators, and also the authorities, the PTA. And both of them have specific requirements to master all this equipment easily and freely. So I think we can now check in detail with Sylviane going through more information.
Okay, so as an operator, we have different types of vehicles. And the thing is that we need to retrieve information from these vehicles and to consolidate the information in one single information system. And to do that, we need to have an interoperability in the data exchange by the vehicles and also with the protocols for them. So the interface with the back office IT system is really crucial. And unfortunately, the current train-to-ground communication standard that is defined in 6137526 does not completely achieve this goal, since it is really a transport protocol. It can convey data, but it doesn't give the format of the data. It does not allow the IT system to really retrieve the needed information. So we really need to harmonize the data exchange and the data formats, just like some presentations already mentioned. So this interoperability in data exchange protocols and formats is really key. And on the other hand, we have authorities, and the authorities have to manage a real bunch of operators, because they can give operation to different companies. So they need to interface with these companies' infrastructure or information system, and they need to get also data out of it. And to get data out of it, they also need to have a common protocols and data format. So PTAs really want to get out of the data they retrieve. They want to be able to provide added services to the customers, to the passengers. And this is, in fact, the goal is to attract more people into the public transport rather than individual cars. So it is really important also to have compatibility in between the information systems of the PTOs and the PTAs. And unfortunately, what happens when we do not share the same protocols and data formats is that we end up with messy systems. And this becomes a real nightmare, because we have to adapt in given systems to the information that are available from each and every system we get. So it is really, really difficult and costly for no added value, because you spend lots of time interfacing or adapting the interfaces without really having any added value out of that. So as I explained, the benefit for the PTA and PTO is really to have interoperable systems, so that we can really focus on innovation and not spending time in really adapting the interfaces and the protocols. So for that, we really want to well, I would like to, in fact, to introduce a kind of a concept that is that would be a technical specification for compatibility. So we need this kind of specification to ensure that we will have interoperable systems all around the areas that we operate or that we control public transportation.
Okay. Next.
So if we look back at what happened in light public transports, just like bus, they also faced the same issues. They first faced the proprietary systems on board with the impossibility to extend their system easily and costly adaptation. And also, this is for the software part, I would say, and on the hardware part also, we had this kind of issue because we have a lot of redundancy. Each system coming with its own communication system. It's a nightmare because you don't know where to put your antennas. So there are a lot of redundancy. We have some connection issues because the connector types are not the same throughout the vehicles. It was very, very difficult. So for that, there were some projects led in Europe when they faced this issue, so that they wanted to bring every actor to build a common system. These projects were EBSF mainly, and they relied also on European standards for the buses that are 13149. And they built a real multimedia infrastructure that is common to any system and that allows really decreasing the number of equipments and allowing also to really make proof of concepts easily because of this interoperability. So it was really, really good, and then this project transformed into a non-for-profit organization that is called IT4PT, so into Information Technology for Public Transportation. So this organization built the interoperable architecture. This is also a community for innovation. There are lots of actors inside of this community, and every player has a role to play to define the specifications. I just mentioned I was back from London, and in this conference that is called Transcom, an American company mentioned explicitly IT4PT to be able to retrieve data. So this is really very important, and this is gaining momentum. Also, IT4PT delivers some labels so that you can ensure that you have this compatibility from your system, from the system you buy. The problem is, anyway, I need to pinpoint that. The problem is that the label gives a conformance for the interface. It does not have any impact on quality, on performance, and on behavior. So you can require an IT4PT label for your system, but you need also to require additional things concerning the behavior of the system and the quality you need to ensure.
Okay, and in addition to what Sylviane has said, also we can mention that now IT4PT is becoming a must, because we can see also coming from the public transport authorities that now they are requiring the compliancy to the label, to the architecture, in the tenders, in their cahier des charges, meaning that it's going to be kind of mandatory things for interoperability. So based on this success story, SNCF took several initiatives, and the first one is that we we set up an EVRL working group inside the association. So it was 4 years ago. And around the table, we had main operators and authorities coming from the railways industry. And we prepared also the functional requirements and the roadmap to get an EVRL profile for IT4PT, which was initially only dedicated for the light public transportation. And right now we have already some specifications already published, because they are also open source. It is important also to notice they are fully open source. And for instance, we have the one for the people counting, the passenger counting, which is already available with a EVRL profile. And part of it also we will issue some best practice and also guidelines to make it easier for the PTA and the PTOs to implement also the architecture on board. Oops. Okay. Then we also took the opportunity of the research and innovation program from Shift to Rail, and we introduced also a task within this Connecta 3 project, to which the goal is to analyze the architecture of IT4PT and to interface it with a new generation of train control network and the TCMS, meaning that also around the table we have the main players of the railway industry. So it's really a great opportunity also to have the public transport on board with this project. And the main goal also of this task is to provide inputs for standardization. So either for the IEC TC9, W46, which are currently revising the OMTS standards, and also to IT4PT, because we can have also an added value for IT4PT to upgrade the technical specification of IT4PT with an EVRL profile. And last but not least, we have also communication, it was last year at InnoTrans we promote also IT4PT on a specific booth at SNCF, and we can tell you that now we have more and more railways stakeholders in the association in IT4PT, from the railway industry, I mean from the car builders and also the suppliers, and now they are willing to adopt IT4PT architecture in their future onboard architecture. So yeah, join IT4PT. I mean, this is also very important that we work as a collaborative community. So everybody can bring also their own requirements into the specification. And so we have a website for that, so you can... and part of it also, I am ambassador of IT4PT. And as we are the leader of the EVRL working group. And just to conclude, and if we have some key takeaway about it, we can say that for IT4PT, there is no conflict or there is no overlap with the existing specifications. I mean, either from IEC standard or coming from the UIC with much more from the use cases. And even less from TSI, because we have to comply with. So I would say IT4PT is really the missing brick of full interoperability, and maybe much more about compatibility. We are talking about compatibility. Yeah? Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.